Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now let me pick up on some stuff. I've been very, very busy. I hate saying busy because everybody's damn busy. It ain't like anybody no busy. So, but I couldn't get around to something. And I uploaded a video about Michael Hunter before his fight against Mike Wilson a day or two ago. And the microphone, wasn't working right. Actually, I'll be honest with y'all, it wasn't on. Forgot to turn the damn thing on. And I was going to upload it anyway, and I just decided not to. But it was before the Mike Wilson fight. So let me just get to Michael Hunter, the heavyweight, a Negro League fighter that, everyone here knows what I mean by a Negro League fighter, right? He's one of them, Michael Hunter, a heavyweight, 21-1-1, 14 KOs, fighting Mike Wilson. 21-1 and with 10 KOs, but now 21-2 with 10 KOs. Mike Wilson, I know people are going to say something, but let me tell you, Michael Hunter stopped him round 4 with a nice right hand, but Mike Wilson came to fight, okay? He had good punch resistance, and it was, he just came to fight. He was real game. He was throwing punches. He came to win. And that was very important because, typical Michael Hunter fighting someone who's bigger than him. Michael Hunter said before the fight he was going to be aggressive, and he was. He came out there letting his hands go. He seemed like he was trying to stop this guy. He was throwing, a lot. His punch variety was on display. I'm talking about going to the body, coming up with the uppercuts, the counter right hand. Right? I go back and then throw the right because you just missed and throw the right. That's a risky thing because you're open for the left hook. Right? You're open for the left hook. But if you time it right and you hit him real good, the left hook probably ain't coming. But it's a risky thing. He was doing a lot. Even Mike got hit with a few things. But he showed what's up. Everybody knows Michael Hunter from sparring. But because he's not such a mainstream dude, you can act like you don't know him, like Dillian White. But I talked about Dillian White in that video with the sound is not so good, so I don't want to go into it again. It was a pretty decent video. I might upload it anyway. I'm not monetized. I can have some stuff with some bad sound. I did it 2 years. Y'all know what time it is. So I might upload it anyway. But it's going to be after this one. Y'all feel me? But Michael Hunter is a problem. He's a Negro League fighter, which means he doesn't get the opportunity to showcase his skills, his talent, and the fighters that are more famous than him, have more profile, more exposure. They can act like he doesn't exist, right? And that's what happens to him, right? He's one of them. He's a Negro League fighter. But we're gonna keep it moving, right? We're gonna keep it moving. Who we want to talk about next? Let's talk about Canelo Alvarez real quick. Canelo Alvarez right now, right? I can't say this, but I'm sick of him calling him this. When I hear he's the pound for pound best fighter, wrong answer. He's not. There's too many people. The pound for pound best fighter should not have too many people in the same weight division that's been wanting to fight him for undisputed fights, for championship fights, for unification fights. He's a good fighter, but he's definitely not the very best because it's the very best don't have them. Terrence Crawford don't have no fighters in a rush to fight him in any other divisions. He don't. You got people who ain't trying to fight him. Look at Manny Pacquiao, which we're gonna get to in a minute. Ain't nobody trying to fight Terrence Crawford. That's #1 pound for pound. But people are going the other direction in his 3rd and 4th division, right? That's not what's happening, right? Or calling Canelo Alvarez the face of boxing. I just don't think the face of boxing should have been doped before. Do you? Really, the face of boxing doped twice on clenbuterol. You can't do that. Ain't no brother's gonna be face of boxing. This got doped. Then I'm gonna call up Jarrell Miller then. You could be the face of boxing. You talk some smack. Right? No. If you're doped, it's not. And if you got people that's been trying to fight you for years, and all of the people who call them that know these guys. Yeah, let's say the names. Demetrius Andrade forever. In 154, 160, and been chasing them everywhere. You can't be face of boxing and #1 pound for pound with somebody like that running around. And a champion. It's not a prospect that people are saying, hey, earn your stripes yet. Like when people talking about Keith Thurman running from Spence at the beginning, he didn't have a title then. And Keith Thurman was trying to do other things and he got hurt. Right? It's a little bit different. I'm talking about I'm the key. Demetrius Andrade is the key for undisputed at 160 pounds at middleweight. And he doesn't take the fight. And plus 40 million on top of it. No, you can't be face of boxing with stuff like that on your ledger. Period. But you're still a good fighter, but just not the very best. Pound for pound means the very best. It should be no doubt. We keep acting like pound. We're forgetting what it really means. But anyway, let me give you another example of Canelo. He can't get the fight with Caleb Plant to become the undisputed guy at 168 pounds, which that was his goal because he's first it was his goal to be at 160, but Demetrius Andre was the reason he didn't do that. Now Caleb Plant, he can't get a date with Caleb Plant for some reason, and the rumor has it is that he got everything he wanted. He's up to 40 million, everything he wanted, he was going to be able to get. Right? They gave him everything he wanted. 40 million plus this plus that. Everything. But for some reason it didn't happen. And one thing people keep acting like, well, he didn't want to sign a three fight deal for PBC, right? Well, you guys can call it a 3-fight deal, but that's not what it was. What it was simple is that we're gonna give you Caleb Plant, like I said before. Then you're gonna have to fight Charlo and Benavidez, right? And he's just gonna say no, like he told the Zone no, like he told Golden Boy no, and he ain't fighting these guys. Okay, so no matter who asked him and what side of the street he's on, and who's this and who's that, it's some people he ain't fighting. Benavidez, Ramirez. When he said he ain't fighting no Mexicans, Gilberto Ramirez and David Benavidez. That's who he meant, right? If we find some whack Mexicans somewhere around his weight division, that he get little profile to him, he'll fight them. These two ain't fighting because we don't know who's gonna win those fights, right? Demetrius Andre and Jamal Charlie ain't fighting. He'll fight Charlo before Demetrius Andre, though. Like I keep telling you, and I keep telling you why. But he ain't fighting either one of them. He could have fought him already. Jamal Charlo in Texas with Canelo Alvarez, and we're not acting like that's not a huge fight. Fill up whatever stadium any stadium in Texas. So whatever with the dude. Now he said he wants to fight because he couldn't get Caleb Plant. He wants to go up to 175. Well, at least we thought to get Dimitri Bivol or Artur Beterbiev. And I told you if he's gonna fight one of them, it's gonna be Bivol, right? So and it's gonna be Bivol. That's what we're talking about right now. But the rumor has it that the newest news is he don't want him to fight Bivol at 175. He want to bring him down to some kind of catch weight. Wait a minute, man. You just been up to 175 to fight Kovalev on short notice, which we just talked about. I think in that Michael Hunter video. I'm not sure. We just talked about that recently, right? We fought Kovalev on extremely short notice. Poor boy couldn't even recover. So now we got short notice with Dimitri Bivol, and now we want to bring him down in weight to about 170 is what I'm hearing, or whatever. That's real close to 168. You wait a minute, 168 to 175. Which would be about 172. Can we meet? You know what I'm saying? 171.5 or something? No, 170. Come on all the way down. And what probably gonna happen? I don't know, but what probably gonna happen is it's still gonna count for the light heavyweight. They did it with Pacquiao several times. Pacquiao 8th division champion. I just don't know about that. Guys, look into that to see if you really believe. Because I don't believe 8th division champion should be what we're talking about when you have all these weight classes. Then a catch weight shouldn't matter. But speaking of Pacquiao, he's going to fight Errol Spence in a minute here in August. And it's a big, huge fight. I love hearing about the fight. Because when I hear about the fight, all I think is, all the time, is Terrence Crawford. I know a lot of people try to act like they don't hear that or don't see that or don't recognize what's really going on here, right? But Manny Pacquiao is not respecting Errol Spence like he should. I mean, he's respecting him, but it's a little disrespect there from the team. It's like the team said. Remember, the team said we are relieved that it's Errol Spence and not Terrence Crawford. That's what his trainer said. We're relieved that it's Errol Spence and not Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence is too slow. Remember that? Pacquiao gonna be too fast for him. Pacquiao can beat him. The odds are only 2-1. Everything I just said, does it apply to Terrence Crawford? Like hell no. Like hell no. The odds gonna be 1-5, 1-4 with Terrence Crawford. People was talking about Terrence Crawford, damn near gonna hurt the man, right? All kinds of stuff. So it's just not that respect. Even Pacquiao said he might stand in front of Spence. But somebody in his team said, dog, you better not do that, right? Didn't you hear what they said? Keith Thurman is the bigger, better fighter? Now, Keith Thurman is more mobile. I think Keith Thurman's punching power is definitely comparable to Errol Spence's. But I think the resilience, right, the mental strength of Errol Spence, I think it exceeds Keith Thurman. But I still would call them even fighters. Keith Thurman has been fighting off injuries and stuff like that and being out of the ring for a while. But, if everybody wants to just ignore how Keith Thurman did beat Sean Porter and your boy who else he beat? Danny Garcia, you know what I'm saying? And he was just undefeated until he barely lost to Pacquiao. And Pacquiao didn't take a dope test, so that fight doesn't count to me. I know it does to others, but if somebody can have a fight without taking a dope test, you guys can count that. I don't, you know, because there's a reason why we ain't taking dope tests. What the hell's going on? You know, everybody got tattoos. What do we can't have dope tests? So, you know, that's how that goes. And speaking of Terrence Crawford for a minute, even though he wasn't, I'm going to bring him up one more time. He's favored against Sean Porter. People are saying he's going to beat Sean Porter. Little old Terrence Crawford. Sean Porter's a damn middleweight. To just be going all the way down to 147. He shouldn't be favored over Sean Porter unless you're awesome, man. Right? I'm favored over Pacquiao. I'm in favor of Sean Porter. Errol Spence asked for 80-20. Nobody is trying to fight the brother. That's the real dude, right? But he's a Negro League fighter, so we kind of ignore it, right? So that's Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford as well. No, Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. I just don't think the respect is there. I think that, to be honest with you, I think they're kind of underestimating Errol Spence because of being relieved that it wasn't Terrence Crawford. You're messing around with Errol Spence here. You know, if Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, it's going to be good. Now, some things I'm hearing, and let's just squash that right away. Beating Errol Spence doesn't mean you're better than Floyd Mayweather. I know you try to figure out a way to get him in front of. He ain't. You can't lose 7, 8 times and then have 3 or 4 or 5 other close matches and be better than Floyd Mayweather. Then lose to Floyd Mayweather. And then if you wanted to fight him earlier, and then if you didn't take a dope test, all of that, you're going to be better because you have fighting a real fight right now? No, you're light years. Not light years, but way behind Mayweather. It's not like, oh, I don't know who when I see people doing the interview, I don't know who I can really say who's better. Yes, you can. Mayweather's better than Manny Pacquiao. And I'm saying it. He's better. But Pacquiao's awesome, though. Right? But this guy's just better. You know, just give it up. You know, you don't got no close fights. You see, go in there and find out close fights. You know what you're going to find? The 5 times Mayweather got rocked. Or the 5 times Mayweather was really on the canvas. You know, just dumb stuff to find out whether, because he wasn't close in those fights. Except Castillo won, right? And that was with a damn bad shoulder, a real bad shoulder. So no, just give it up. They ain't going to be catching Mayweather, right? We might talk if he beats Spence and Terrence Crawford. Like I told you, if he beats Spence, what's going to happen is Mayweather's going to start training right away. If he beats Spence. Because then he's going to have to fight Crawford, and Mayweather's going to be training just in case that he beats Crawford too. Because if he does that, then he's real awesome. But I still wouldn't give him better than Mayweather because you didn't beat him. You know what I'm saying? You didn't beat him, right? You didn't beat him. So you can't have it if you didn't beat him. And then earlier, you didn't take a drug test. So we're supposed to just put him in front of him? Why? Because of what? Then we fought our common opponents, right? You know, I stopped him earlier than you, the Ricky Hattons of the world, when he was undefeated, right? I didn't have a close fight with Marquez, and every 4 of yours were close. So it's just some reasons why Mayweather is just better than Manny Pacquiao. I know people don't like it. They're probably going to be hating me just for saying that. But no, we're going to say it together. Let's say it. Mayweather is better than Manny Pacquiao. He is. But that does not mean that Pacquiao ain't awesome. And another thing, it don't mean that Pacquiao ain't going to beat no Errol Spence. Pacquiao just beat Keith Thurman, albeit without a drug test, but still. You know, you don't just, anybody, even not taking a drug test, ain't beat no Keith Thurman. Don't even sound like a Manny Pacquiao fan that does it. But I am. I just, you know, I'm a realist. I'm not going to let people diss something that we saw that was ridiculous in Floyd Mayweather. You got to give the man props, whether you like it or not, because it's the sport of boxing. I know they're getting away from it being a sport, but from the sport of boxing, when you see something that awesome, you recognize it. A lot of people start hating on it. I've seen it in many sports. A Russell Westbrook, damn it, a Shohei Ohtani. You know, we're seeing ridiculous stuff. A Deion Sanders, a Bo Jackson, those kind of people. You know, that are doing extraordinary things. A Dirk Nowitzki, when he came to the NBA, people were saying Irk Nowitzki because he didn't play no defense. What's a 7-footer shooting threes for? Now everybody's doing it. You see what I'm saying? But you had to understand that while you were seeing it, not waiting till somebody dies or retires. You feel me? Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.